game is finally out. I've been waiting so long for this game to come out. I cannot wait to do everything in this game. And look, I already got a new ship. I've been playing the game for 5 minutes, already got a new ship. Let's go, let's get in the ship. Let's just take off right into space. What just happened? Wow, how am I in space? Was it a cutscene? Let's just go explore some planets and see what they have to offer. Maybe some foliage, some cool alien. It's just an animation to land on the planet. Why can't I, do I even get to fly? All right, man, I got all these guns. I found a pirate ship that landed here and I fucking killed them. I took their ship, already got a brand new ship and a bunch of guns, but I gotta sell all my stuff. Let's set course to Neon City. That's a cool place. Where's the door? Where's the guy? All I see is a door. Why isn't there a vendor right here? It says shop here. Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me I gotta go through another door. I had to go through a load screen to see this? It's just a small shop with like 3 people in it. It's like 500 square feet. Why do I have to load everything? Why can't I just walk into a shop? God fucking damn it, I'm 25 years waiting for this shit. Starfield, here it is. 25 years in development for this game. All the hallmarks of a Bethesda game, the good, the bad, and the downright insulting.
You are back. You did not respond when I called to you after you pulled out the artifact. Does that mean Barrett's theory and experience were correct?
You looking to start something? 'Cause I'll finish it.
For a Bethesda game, I will say right off the start, it has had a very stable launch for Xbox and PC. I played on both, about 20 hours each. Xbox, couple glitches, PC, 1 crash. Xbox obviously locked 30 FPS. PC, 60 FPS, optimized for shit, but that's expected from a PC launch for Bethesda. Is this a bad game? Absolutely not. It has all the core elements of a Bethesda game, and unlike many other things in the game, they actually just work. But is it a 9 out of 10? A 10 out of 10? A masterpiece with 0 flaws? Hell no. And we'll get into those reasons now. Starting off with the bad right away, I made a 45-minute video in detail about 31 problems in the game. If you want to see it more in depth, watch that video. I'm going to go over the generalities of those, but most of the issues stem from 2 major problems, in my opinion, in the game, and that is Creative Engine 2 and the dead economy credit system in the game. For anyone that has played an open world game in the last decade or so, it is painfully obvious that Starfield is being held back by using Creative Engine 2, an ancient, dilapidated, and outclassed engine in modern day of gaming. The initial honeymoon phase, when you first start, only lasts a few hours, before you start noticing all the limitations and all the holes in the actual gameplay.
I'm so worried about the rest of the game. If this is it, like this is supposed to hook me into the game, it's fucking boring.
There is simply no excuse to still be using this engine in 2023. It was clear in Fallout 4, and even more so in 76, that it is outdated and time to start fresh. Yet Bethesda continued to use CE2, and now we see the consequences of that choice in full detail.
Sir, let go of him! You gotta let him go, sir!
No real open world anywhere, fast travel everywhere, excessive load screens, inability to actually fly your spaceship anywhere manually, and no true exploration of planets.
Another load screen, another load screen, another load screen. And then we walk 20 feet, and then guess what? Another load screen, another load. I want to strangle myself.
Some reviewers have dubbed Starfield Box Simulator, hilariously, because you are essentially in self-contained boxes around the map, and the only way to actually move around those boxes is to fast travel. All the boxes have hard edges. You can't go beyond these points, and the only way to go between them is a load screen or fast travel. Whenever I actually got immersed into the game, the few times I did, I'm immediately taken out of it by more load screens and more fast traveling.
Just like, it gets so boring having to fast travel fucking everywhere. It's just exhausting. I feel like I just look at load screens the entire time. I can't underestimate how just, even on PC, cannot underestimate. I can't understate how incredibly annoying it is and unimmersive. There's no immersion.
Why can't I fly my ship manually anywhere? Why can't I experience the world or environment anywhere I go? Everything's blocked off by a load screen or a door or a fast travel point. It's completely unacceptable for a game that just came out in 2023. I was getting flashbacks to Fallout 3 from 2008 when playing this game. Everything is a load screen. But at least in Fallout 3, I could actually walk across the map. I know buildings still had loading screens, but I could walk from one point to another. I could actually go places. Everything is a load to screen. Fly into a city, load screen. Take an elevator, load screen. Move into a different part of the city, load screen. Walk into a store, just a little tiny store, 500 square feet, load screen. The Witcher 3. From 2015, 8 years ago, okay? You could go anywhere seamlessly without a single load screen. Walk into any shop you wanted to. That game was truly open world in both senses. You could go where you wanted, and you could do whatever you wanted without load screens everywhere. And the game also looked incredible. Starfield does not look incredible. You're loading tiny boxes that don't even look that great. Witcher 3, you could go anywhere, and it looked amazing. Everything looked great. Starfield, by comparison, comes out 8 years after The Witcher 3. It looks like garbage.
Bro, what is like the lighting and the graphics here? Holy fuck.
But even if you just compare it to other Bethesda games, it's ridiculous. At least in Fallout 76 and Fallout 4, it looked somewhat better, and you could actually move around the map without having to fast travel everywhere. Fast travel was always an option, not the only option. And I've had it with these Bethesda defenders who are saying it wasn't advertised as No Man's Sky is in space. They couldn't be more deluded with this argument. No Man's Sky, which was made by a development team of 12 people who no one had ever heard of. Literally developing this game out of the shack. You could fly from planet to planet, seamlessly. Yet, Bethesda, after 25 years of development, thousands of developers and engineers from multiple different studios around the world, and a massive budget. Yeah, we just couldn't do it, sorry, just couldn't do it. Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable in 2023. It is frankly incredible and insulting. So many problems in the game stem directly from using this old engine, Creative Engine 2. It needed to be canned after Fallout 76. It was so clear it had to be replaced by something that allowed developers to build the game they wanted. The limitations of this engine are just putting a stranglehold on these developers. They cannot create the game they want because of this engine. You might as well call it Uncreative Engine 2. Planet exploration sucks because of this. Bethesda is known for crafting these unique one-off maps and locations that we all remember from other games. Fallout 76, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, Oblivion, Skyrim, all these amazing places that everyone remembers. In Starfield, most planets are procedurally generated, meaning if you visited 10 planets, you visited all of them. Not only that, but many of the POIs from these planets, like caves and whatnot, many are simply carbon copies of other ones.
Bro, if this other part is also blocked off, like, I'm just gonna... Oh my god. I'm so tired of seeing, like, the same, like, fucking debris in... Just... God, man, like, I feel like I'm playing a fucking Call of Duty game. Just, like, debris, just blocking stuff off because they didn't create an actual open goddamn world.
The same can be said about random encounters with space pirates when entering a new system. It's the same asteroid field. Every other encounter. I was losing my mind. I thought I had gone into like the same system over and over again, when in fact it was just the same exact asteroid battle that had just reoccurred multiple times over and over again. Bethesda needs to go back to unique maps and unique locations, not this procedurally generated crap over and over again. Space combat's also seriously limited by the engine. Space combat can be fun and rewarding at times, but it's always a few ships on either side, 10 at most. One set piece battle has around 12 to 13 ships fighting. That's the most I've ever seen playing the game. There'll be 5 or 6 spaceships above like a major, like the biggest city in the game essentially, and there's no activity going on. I know space is supposed to be empty, and maybe Bethesda nailed the emptiness factor a little too much, because it makes it feel all dead. The same can be said about ships entering and exiting certain major cities. Above them in space, like New Atlantis, supposed to be the largest city of the largest faction, and there's no ships above it in space. The second major issue is the debt economy. To put it simply, you get way too many credits, way too quickly, and outside of building your dream ship, there isn't anything much worth buying in the game. This makes many activities and certain other mechanics in the game completely pointless. It takes a long time to level up in the game, and so by the point you can actually build the dream ship you want to, you saved up a ton of credits to do so, because there isn't that much to buy anyways, besides saving up for this mega ship you want to build. All the big ticket items in the game are all ship parts. Past a couple hours of first playing, 95% of the items sold at gun shops and other stores aren't better than what you're already been picking up in the game, so there's no point buying them.
Nobody sells anything that's like really cool. Like everyone just kind of sells like okay stuff, but you play the game for a few hours and you already have much better stuff than they sell. So like at 300k in credits, like what do I have to spend it on? I don't there's nothing to buy.
And after that point, remember, level 5, level 6, a few hours into the game, you're only saving up to buy ship parts. And once you finally build that mega ship, which I have to say, the ship mechanic is fantastic in the game. They nailed it. I spent hours customizing everything, every little detail about the ship. Probably one of the best mechanics in the game, personally, for me at least. But I've always loved that kind of stuff. But after you do build your super mega battleship, whatever, anything you want, after that, spend, you know, tons of credits, hundreds of thousands of credits. After that, what else is there to save up credits to actually buy? Any big ticket items, any like super rare weapons you can only buy from this one guy, or like super awesome spacesuits that are just one-offs from certain people in certain sectors that you have to like fight through? Nope. Anything that costs like millions of credits? Nothing. That's it. Outposts are the next casualty of this, unfortunately. Outpost system is fun and can be pretty rewarding when you build the base that you've always wanted, spending hours customizing it. It's a lot like the spacecraft customization. Tons of fun, tons of customization. Really, both really great systems.
Hey, this is okay. This is kind of fun. All right. Okay. I mean, I like this. Somewhat interactive.
But outside of base building, just for your own base and decoration and whatnot, the entire point of the outpost system, which isn't not explained ever, by the way, very bad tutorial for the outpost system, the whole point is to gather resources. Each planet has different resources, you know, unique to that planet, and then you bring them all to the same place with the transfer ship mechanic. And then you can, with those resources, you can upgrade stuff like your equipment, you can upgrade your guns, spacesuits, do research. That system all works. That makes sense and is very rewarding. But let me ask you this. What is the point in doing all of that when you can just buy the resources themselves from different vendors that cost almost no money? Like, even the most exotic of resources will cost 100, 200, maybe 300 credits. But you have so many credits, you're so flush with money in the game that there's no point actually building outposts to get resources when it's just easier just to buy them outright. Just go to a vendor and buy them outright. Even with this sad reality, I did spend a lot of time putting together a really nice outpost, connected stuff, just because it's a feature in the game. I've always liked settlements in Fallout 4 and 76. I like the mechanic. It's also good here. I like it, the customization, so I enjoy it. But as far as a purpose of doing it, does it actually have importance in the game? Does that really impact you that much? Not really. It has almost no importance, and because of the dead economy and broken like money and credits, it has even less importance. It's basically a side activity that you can completely avoid and do the rest of the game without ever touching. Now, what would have been cool, a really cool thing, which I thought of almost instantly upon doing it for the first time in the outpost, is if by putting an outpost down on a planet, you actually claim the planet. Could you imagine you like claim a planet for yourself and you start your own Star Empire, claiming different planets and going to war with other factions in the game? Like, that would be an incredible feature of the game. but either the lack of creativity or the limitations of the engine, either way it leaves Outpost as something that's totally unimportant in the game currently. There are also lots of little design choices that just make no sense and are a complete hindrance to your game. For instance, the oxygen CO2 system still affecting you on planets with oxygen. No ammo count when you're looking at guns in the menu. The menu UI generally being terrible. And don't get me started. Do not get me started on the controls for space combat and PC. It's absolutely ridiculous. Nobody play tested it. WASD is to fly, but also G is to shoot one of the 3 weapons. That's just a terrible choice. And if you want to move power systems around, like from shields to grav or to speed or whatever engine, you have to hold left alt, and then WASD actually moves the power around. So when you're moving power around, you actually can't fly the ship. Like, who made that decision? If you're going to be playing on PC, use a controller for space combat. I couldn't recommend it more.
Okay, like, what am I supposed to do? There's 20 guys shooting at me. This is fucking ridiculous. Like, okay, I'm just gonna die. Like, what do you, okay? It's fucking dumb. Holy shit.
Lockpicking is new. I don't necessarily mind that it's a different system, but it takes much longer to lockpick than it did before. And there are so many things to lockpick. Every box, every other door is locked in the game. You'll be spending so much time in the lockpicking menu. It's ridiculous.
All right, you know what? Fucking hell, man. I don't care. It's just fucking boring doing the lockpicking. Holy shit. It's tedious, fucking boring, and I have to do it all the time.
No catalog for cities or planets you visited, so if you forget where one planet or city is, you have to basically search through every single system. Most vendors only have 5K in credits, so you have to go from vendor to vendor to vendor to vendor to sell everything. Just odd choices that really hinder your playing experience more than enhance it.
He's already out of money. Like, what? Like, I haven't been here in literally like weeks, and he still has 200 fucking. I can't with this. You know why this UC exchange guy is good? Because he has a decent amount of credits on him. Just kidding. He's only got 5K. For fuck's sake, man. Okay, he's already done. I sold fucking 7 things, and he's... The skill tree. I don't know why they have to keep changing the skill tree. It's worked in the past. Leveling up takes so long that you will never actually have the skills that you need in whatever you're actually doing. You want to board an enemy ship and steal it, and you need level 3 piloting, and you don't have that. And many more examples just like this. It is so important. I couldn't recommend it more. Keep a couple skill points available so that situations you can't predict, when they do arise, you will at least have a skill point to spend on it. What is so ironic and really hilarious is that so many of these bad design choices by the developers, there are already mods to fix them. The most popular mods currently for Starfield are literally just to fix bad design choices. Another load screen, another load screen, another load screen.
Let's move on to slightly better things, okay? The story. For once, you actually aren't a prisoner. But one step above, really. You're a miner who discovers a mysterious artifact. You are quickly introduced to the group Constellation, an explorers group who are investigating the artifacts which are spread across the galaxy, which now you have to find. Without giving too much away, spoilers, you find artifacts around the galaxy which unlock pretty cool abilities later on in the game. But this is more of the highlight of the main story. It's rather a mundane and at many times lackluster story that I found hard to really engage in. It's an exploration group, so you're going to be doing a lot of exploring and a lot of fetch quests that involve more load screens than actual gameplay, unfortunately. That's not to say that there aren't fun sequences and quests here and there, but they are few and far between. It's certainly not Bethesda's best work. It's simply okay or average at best.
Like, it doesn't help that so many things are just boring. It's boring and exhausting. That's 2 terrible traits for a game. Ugh.
Of course, being Bethesda game, you have tons of other things to do. You definitely get bang for your buck here. Tons of side quests to do, including 4 main faction quest lines. Yet many of these quests are stagnant or downright boring at times, like delivering coffee to people and objectives that could simply be resolved by using a phone. Like, they don't have phones in 2330, I guess. Like, a lot of these quests are go here, talk to this person, go back, talk to him, and I get dialogue's important. But for many of them, a phone call would have sufficed. Just Just call me. A majority of the quests follow the same gameplay loop over and over and over again. It's the same almost every time you get your quest. You fast travel, you load screen, you go into combat, repetitive, boring combat, you get your loot, you fast travel, load screen, 7 different vendors, 8 vendors to sell all your loot, rinse and repeat. And this is repeated over and over and over again. It just makes it exhausting and just so boring.
I'm exploring to try to find fun. I'm not exploring because I like to explore. I'm just trying to find something interesting. There's something different. Fuck.
RPG elements continue to be watered down for a more streamlined gaming experience. Decisions hold almost no weight to them and rarely ever actually impact the world. For instance, if you finish the faction quest for the Freestart Collective, you can either kill or keep alive Ron Hope. Different options there. The founder and owner of Hope Tech. It's clearly stated multiple times that this company would be defunct, out of business, if it wasn't for the ingenuity and genius of Ron Hope. So, if you're forced to kill him, does Hope Tech go out of business? Is Hope Tech ship parts no longer available to you because they're out of business? Is Hope Town deserted and abandoned because Hope Tech has to shut down? Nope. Nothing actually happens. There are many quests like this. I like how you have lots of different options how to handle a lot of quests. Persuasion, sneaking, just shooting everybody. Lots of different options how to handle quests. And different choices that will affect the ending. But the endings don't actually matter in the end. The impact on the world is the same. Or there's just no impact. It's the illusion of choice and the illusion of actual impact based off those choices. Because at the end of the day, it has zero impact on the world around you.
God, it's so boring!
And I know, not every quest can be a banger. Not every quest is going to be memorable and amazing. I understand that. There has to be some boring ones. But maybe it's just the old gamer in me that's just tired of doing 3 hours of boring and average quests for one good quest. You also get 20 different companions to choose from. I think it's actually more than 20, but 20 so far, which I really liked. Some are obviously better than others in every Bethesda game, but keeping the same companion will increase your relation with them, unlocking different relationships choices and specific quests for that companion. We've also added more dialogue for your companion. This is probably the biggest ingenuity change, I would have to say. It's a really great addition to the game, maybe one of the best additions to the game. Basically, in the past Bethesda games, your companion would be essentially mute during conversations between you and an NPC, right? They would have quips and stuff to say, but not really during actual conversations with NPCs. Now, they will interact with the conversations, and sometimes the NPC you're talking to and your companion will actually have conversations between each other during every event. So, and this happens a lot. I've kept the same companion for like 20 hours, for like probably 18 hours or so, and almost every NPC conversation I have, he will say something pertaining directly to the conversation. So lots of lines of dialogue. It makes your companion feel more real. It makes the situation feel more real. Your companion is no longer just a mule to carry around, you know, your equipment or extra guns or stuff. It feels like a real person that's actually adding to the conversation you're in.
You won't be the only. Mateo went.
She's as tough as they come, but happy to lend a hand if needed.
She should be at one of the two.
See, that's nice. Like, the characters actually talk about the situation they're in. Like, I don't need to have this side character with me, but they added lines to the point where basically he can comment on like every quest I do. And it's like a crazy amount of work they did to do that. But like, I don't need to have Samco as my sidekick or my follower right now. But like, they added so many lines to the game that it triggers him to do those couple lines talking about this quest that I have. And that's like a crazy amount of work to put in. Because a lot of times too, they'll like talk and have conversations with the guy you're even talking to. The point where like it feels like almost like a real conversation. You forget that it's a game.
As I mentioned, shipbuilding is fantastic. Bethesda really nailed it here with the customization options. This is also true with the outpost system, like I mentioned. They really give you the tools to build whatever you want in the game. It's really fantastic. Of course, the loot. The loot's amazing. It's a Bethesda game. There's tons of loot to pick up. They have a new variety system where it goes from, I think, common to, I think, unique is the most. So there's different levels of variety, which is great. So you know when you get like a one-off unique item, like, oh my god, that's amazing. So I love getting all the loot. I'm a loot whore game that works for me. I love stocking my base and my spaceship, you know, armories with all the guns I get. That's great. That works perfectly as always. The guns are also great. There's a great variety of guns. Everyone's gonna find a gun they like. If you have a few guns you like, it just makes it worth it, really. The combat AI can be really dumb at times, and it makes the combat pretty stale and repetitive overall. But every once in a while, the combat AI will actually do interesting things.
Trying to escape. Wow, that's actually impressive. I've never seen the AI actually try to run away. Didn't make it very far, but...
Jetpack obviously adds a new dimension of verticality to the game, and it's refreshing a bit because, as I said, combat can be stale, but the jetpack is fun to use to get around and to just change combat a little bit. Even with all the problems, and the carbon copy experiences, and repetitive AI combat, and the fast traveling, and the load screens, and sometimes boring quests and activities, there's always something. There's always something about Bethesda games that has me coming back for more every time. When I started the game, I was really infused in the universe. Like, I was in love with everything that I was seeing for the first time, and I could play for many hours at a time without getting bored.
It's third person! Oh my god, it's third person!
And it didn't take that long before I could only play a few hours at a time before I got kind of bored and exhausted. But I kept coming back. Even though I got bored and like took breaks, I would keep coming back because there's just something about a Bethesda game. Just, I don't know what it is. The loot, just the world experience, being able to do what you want, the customization of ships and outposts. Just, you don't know what you're going to see next. There's something about a Bethesda game that just keeps me coming back every time regardless. So my final score for Starfield is a 7 out of 10 on PC and a 6.5 on Xbox. And just to let you guys know, no mods were used on PC. The score will go up on PC because of mods will fix load times and other stuff like that, like frames and whatnot. For Xbox, obviously not going to fix it. But to get the true experience, I played with no mods. I played how the game shipped on day one. The lower score on Xbox is simply because of the 30 FPS lock, which is just ridiculous, and also the longer load times and fast travels, obviously. Thanks for watching, guys. This is not a bad game. Let me say that. There are lots of problems with the game. This is not a bad game. It's just not Bethesda's best work. I'm comparing this game to other Bethesda games. It's not their best work. They can do better. They have to do better quests. And just get rid of Creative Engine 2. If Creative Engine 2 is in Elder Scrolls 6, just God help me. Thanks for watching, guys.